The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. W's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by W, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. W's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/discount/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. W Energy, be better. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at becleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outcast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com. It is the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, hanging out with you here on a Tuesday morning. A lot of stuff that we're going to be talking about today. The San Antonio Spurs saying goodbye to the legendary Gregg Popovich, introducing their new coach, Mitch Johnson. I want to give a shout out to the King of Troy who tuned in over on Instagram. Thank you so much for being a part of today's show. Obviously, the NBA playoffs, all of that good stuff is going to be underway here in just a few seconds. I do want to give a big thank you to everyone that's tuned in on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Roku. No matter how it is that you're taking in the show, I want to thank you so much for being a part of what it is that we do here on the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. If you're watching on Roku, remember, there's a whole bunch of really good sports analysts and sports debate shows that happen right here on National Streaming Sports. Let's continue supporting National Streaming Sports. If you are new to the show, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever it may be, please download Roku, subscribe to National Streaming Sports. Let's show them a little bit of love as well. We take care of the people that take care of us. One of us. Here on the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. Now, yesterday I was asked the question about the Dallas Cowboys signing an undrafted free agent named Joshua Kelly out of Texas Tech. And I will get to that in just a little bit because I want to make sure that Tommy Canazzo, the person who asked the question, is a part of today's show, getting to watch and do all that stuff. But what I wanted to do in the meantime is go over the Dallas Cowboys draft. I feel like I haven't been able to actually go over the full draft of what the Cowboys did, give my opinions on what the Dallas Cowboys were doing. And for me, I really enjoyed the Dallas Cowboys draft. I thought they did a fantastic job addressing their needs, addressing what they needed for this team. Tommy Canazzo saying, what's good, Tip? What's good, Tommy? Hope you're having yourself a fantastic day. We are going over the Dallas Cowboys draft. I will talk a little bit about Joshua Kelly, the wide receiver from Texas Tech, signed by the Dallas Cowboys this weekend. But I wanted to start off with the draft first because I feel like I never got to actually give y'all a full opinion on the Dallas Cowboys draft. I thought it was a good draft for the Dallas Cowboys. Again, no sexy names. This wasn't a super sexy draft, right? They get offensive lineman Tyler Booker out of Alabama. I was less than enthusiastic, if I'm going to be honest, about this pick. I thought that there were better offensive linemen out there that the Cowboys could have gotten. But whenever you saw his energy, how excited Tyler Booker was to be a part of the Dallas Cowboys, that's whenever I said, you know what? I'm all in with it. I see my guy Clowney Gigglesworth tuned in over on Facebook as well. What's up, homeboy? Hope you're doing well. Please like and share the show. We're trying to grow the show here, The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. I liked seeing Tyler Booker's energy for the Dallas Cowboys. That podcast that he did with Micah Parsons afterwards, where he was talking about making sure, he was basically beating the life and the love of football out of people left and right. I want to give a shout out to J Train Express 1975. My dude J Train, you can catch him on Prim and Proper Sports on the Wednesday National Professional Sports Show on Wednesdays over here on Roku with National Streaming Sports. And then, of course, Midea Reyes tuning in as well. J Train saying, what up, Tip? What up with you, J Train? We are currently going over the Dallas Cowboys draft. I never really got to go all in on talking about this draft. Now, Tommy and I, during the draft, we were going through the emotions. We were going through it. We kept asking ourselves, why not a tackle? Why not a tackle? That's what you're going to need help with. And Tyler Booker won us both over. Tyler Booker, I believe, won over a lot of Dallas Cowboys fans. And that's the kind of guy that you want protecting your quarterback at the interior offensive line position. He's going to be a guard, going to fill in for that spot that Zach Martin has left vacant. I love that pick. You had to address what the Dallas Cowboys needed to do, which was basically address your offensive line. They had a very bad offensive line to the Dallas Cowboys. J Train Express saying Tyler Booker is a nasty guard. He is nasty. I believe that's I wouldn't be surprised if Tyler Booker winds up being the best offensive lineman here. Like, you can tell there's a hunger there that I don't think will ever get satiated. The line that he said when he was like, you know what? I was trying to read that, Augustine. I'm guessing it's a Spurs hat that you're making fun of right now. Yeah. But whenever Tyler Booker was going around being like, I love whenever guys are super amped and they love football until they come across me. And then I just start beating them down, dragging them down into the dirt, beating the dog shit out of them. I absolutely saw you, Roku. I absolutely loved that from Tyler Booker. You won me over with that. That was their first round pick. Tyler Booker helping out the offensive line. Absolutely what they needed. Then you had Donovan Ezra-Rukaru, who is the edge rusher out of Boston College. That's what the Dallas Cowboys needed. That right there, I want to see the love of football leave their eyes. That is such a badass line to say. Like, I don't think I would have ever come up with a line like that. Augustine Pimentel saying, by the way, there was a great convoy saying that Steph was more of a GOAT than LeBron, and I agree. We'll talk about that coming up in a little bit. Shout out to Amaki52 who tuned in over on Instagram. Thank you so much. Please like the live over on Instagram as well. If you're on Facebook, please like and share on Facebook, all the different places like that. J Train Express talking about Tyler Booker saying he's great in run blocking schemes. He could use more work in pass blocking, but he'll be a Pro Bowler at some point. I love seeing that. My guy J Train, all about the SEC. As an LSU fan, he got to see Tyler Booker up front and personal, right? I'm excited about that pick, even going all over to D-Easy, as Tommy Cananza was going to call him, Donovan Ezra-Rukaru, sorry. the edge rusher out of Boston College. I like that. I wanted the Dallas Cowboys to go out and get an edge rusher to help out Micah Parsons. You lost DeMarcus Lawrence, so you needed to have somebody to come in here and help out the Dallas Cowboys, that defensive pass rush. He's a strong, like, he is the pass rusher of today, right? Like, he's just like having another Micah Parsons on the edge. I don't know if he'll be able to produce the way that Micah Parsons does, but at least now it allows the Dallas Cowboys not to have Parsons double teamed and triple teamed all the time, especially whenever you put him next to Odigizua. It's going to be awesome for the Dallas Cowboys. Like, I'm excited to see what this Dallas Cowboys defense is going to look like. I'm still worried a little bit about their run game. I know that they drafted Joe Toya out of UCLA. I'm still kind of, I don't know. I guess the Dallas Cowboys drafting D tackles has left me kind of jaded. Mozzie, I have faith that Mozzie's going to be able to live up to the expectation. But I just, again, with the Dallas Cowboys, I'm so jaded with defensive tackle picks. Then they get Siobhan Revel, cornerback out of Eastern Carolina. I like that pick. Again, not sexy, not a whole bunch of names that people would have thought this is what we want to get out of the Dallas Cowboys. Nothing sexy about it. But what it was, it's addressing all the needs the Dallas Cowboys have. Jaden Blue, the running back out of Texas, super fast running back, right? I believe he ran a 4.37 40, if I'm not mistaken. So he's got some breakaway speed. It's going to be okay. Now that we have Tyler Booker in here, maybe we can establish a little bit of a run game. We lost Rico Dowdle. We no longer have Ezekiel Elliott. Augustine asking, is this a conversation we've had before? LOL, this is not a conversation that we've had before. It's all leading up to one specific thing, a question that I was asked yesterday about Joshua Kelly, the wide receiver out of Texas Tech that is being drafted to the Dallas Cowboys. Shamar James, they get a linebacker. They needed linebacker help. Tommy Canazza saying that dude has wheels for sure, and that'll be the thing, right? Like, we got to see how patient of a runner is he going to be. Is he going to be able to allow the blocks? Jaden Blue, is he going to be able to allow the blocks to happen for him to be? I agree with you, Tommy. I don't think he's going to be an every down back, but you have that home run hitter. You have that home run threat now. And he's a halfway decent receiving back as well, which is kind of what you need him to be. I liken his ability to that of Christian McCaffrey. I don't think he'll be a Christian McCaffrey, but he's made out of that same mold. That's kind of what I like about Jaden Blue. Johnny Cornelius, an offensive lineman, once again getting depth on the offensive line. You got him in the 6th round. We said Jay Toya got him as a defensive tackle out of UCLA. Phil Maffa, a running back out of Clemson. The Cowboys needed depth at running back, and it feels like they're just going to try out a whole bunch of guys out there as well. And then you looked at what the Dallas Cowboys did in their signing the rookie free agents, right? Trayshawn Holden, they get him, a wide receiver. Joshua Kelly, they get him out of Texas Tech. Tommy Canazza saying James has pass rush potential, but gambles too much, hits the wrong gaps too much. I think that'll be the thing. I think that's something that can be coached out of him, right? I think that's something that can be coached out. Like, once you get to the NFL, you have better coaching, you have all that better stuff. I think Shamar James will be okay. I don't know if he's going to be starting day one, but with as weak as the Dallas Cowboys defensive linebacking core is, why the hell not? J-Train Express saying Blue is in the same breath as Trayvon Henderson. I'll agree with that as well, saying that that's a great pickup for the Dallas Cowboys. Our guy J-Train tuned in over there on Instagram. Augustine Pimentel saying that's why Dallas isn't doing well. They are hitting home runs. They need to hit touchdowns. I got it, Augustine. My apologies. My apologies on home run hitters. Tommy Cananza agreeing, saying he can definitely be coached. Bruce Harmon, they got themselves a cornerback. Mike Smith, a safety. Super generic name, Mike Smith. I would change my name if I was him. Rivaldo Fairweather, a tight end. Tyler Neville, a tight end. Zion Childress, a cornerback. Justin Barrett, linebacker. And then they have a tryout with Donovan Smith, a wide receiver. Now, the reason why I mentioned those positions, wide receiver, cornerback, safety, tight end, cornerback, linebacker, wide receiver, the reason why I mentioned those positions is because those are positions that we as Dallas Cowboys fans said this team needed to address. I was asked about Joshua Kelly, and this is what I can say about him. As a Texas Tech guy, I got to see a lot of it, right? He was the first wide receiver for Texas Tech with over 1,000 yards receiving since I want to say 2018 or 2019, somewhere around there. But if you're expecting someone to take like the top off, that's not who he is. He's more of a possession guy, right? 89 catches this year, and I want to say just over 1,000 yards, averaging roughly, 7 catches a game is what it was, and that's top 10 in NCAA. So he's like a possession guy. He's going to move the chains for you, right? CeeDee Lamb is your home run hitter. Joshua Kelly could be your possession kind of guy. Now, I don't see him coming in and being the number 2 wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not that drunk, despite the fact that I might have something in my coffee or not. I'm not that drunk. But he can be, especially this rookie season, if he makes the team, he can be your 4th wide receiver, your 5th wide receiver. If you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, I liken him a lot to Noah Brown, but with better hands. I think he's a better receiver than what Noah Brown was. And maybe if you go back for Dallas Cowboys fans, a Patrick Creighton type of guy. He doesn't need to be your number 2. I don't think he'll ever be your number 2, but he can be a solid number 3, a possession guy that has good hands, that can move the chains for you left and right for the Dallas Cowboys. That's what I think that they need. I would like to think that being in the NFL, once again, you have better coaching staff, better quarterbacks, all of that good stuff. I'd love to see what he can do in the NFL. I'm super high on him. I thought he should have been drafted. I don't understand why he wasn't drafted. And if he can work out with the Dallas Cowboys, me as a Texas Tech fan, I'd be super excited to watch Joshua Kelly with it. Tommy Cananza saying, I think the Cowboys got at least 3 starters in the draft, Booker, Revel, and Ezekaru. Sorry. They might be a starter day 1, but I feel like he can take a spot opposite Micah at the end of the year. I think he will be a starter because I think if you put Odigizua kind of more towards the interior defensive line, I think he'll be all right. I think that's what the Cowboys want to do. Like, they want to have athletes along that defensive line. You can't just have big old fat guys all the time. And you all know me. It's not sexy, but I love it. It's not sexy, but it's what you need. Just big, beefy men slapping meat against other big, beefy men. Pause. And I think that's, not the way that the NFL is going anymore, right? Like, you have to be more athletic along the defensive line. You have to be able to do the 2-3 technique, even the 4 technique. You have to be versatile along the offense or along the defensive line. I think that's the route the Dallas Cowboys are going. Let's just get some athletes along this defensive line and worry about the tush push later. That's only one team we got to worry about with the tush push. Man. Joshua Kelly, though, like I said, I wouldn't have super high expectations for him. I also wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't make the team. Now, as weak as the Dallas Cowboys wide receiving core is, I think he should be able to make the team. Tommy Cananza saying his daughter is saying that I'm sus. I'm sus or I'm cis. I'm trying to get it. I think you're going with sus. Want to give a shout out to Tall Boy, who tuned in over on Instagram, Sports Around the 915, tuning in on Instagram as well. Genesis, Jen Bunny joining in over on Instagram. Thank you all so much. Please like the live. I feel like I'm like a TikTok influencer. Like the live, guys. Click share. Do all that good stuff. Thank you. Nonetheless, please, thank you. I would appreciate it if we can do that. I'm trying to grow the tipping point with Mike Tipton over here. And yes, it is sus. Look, there's nothing sus about being a man that appreciates big, beefy men. Even more so whenever they're oiled up and ready to go. I'm sorry, Tommy. I'm sorry, Tommy's daughter as well. Shout out to AJZD Man, Adaman, Daman, AJZ Demand, I guess is what the name is right there on Instagram. Sorry I butchered your name. I'm not good at reading. I needed to go to the Derek Zoolander School for kids who don't read good, and I was never able to get my scholarship to go there. That's what happens when you grow up in Socorro. Once again, the Dallas Cowboys, I liked their draft. It wasn't sexy, but I liked it. It was a good draft. It was something that the Dallas Cowboys needed, and I was happy with it. Augustine Pimentel had mentioned a little bit earlier about a conversation that was had that Steph Curry was more of a GOAT than LeBron James. Genesis over on Instagram saying, who doesn't love a sturdy, beefy man? Exactly. Who doesn't love just a big, sturdy, beefy man? Coming from the guy that's 5'10". But I'm big in other ways. I got a size 13 shoe. And you know what they say about guys with big shoes? They have big-ass socks. Is Steph Curry greater than LeBron James? And I think that this comes down to what your definition of greatness is. Steph Curry changed the game of basketball. Did he change it for better or for worse, right? With the three-point shooting ability. Now, I will say Steph Curry is, without a shadow of a doubt, the greatest shooter we have ever seen. He has that clutch gene. You saw it on display against Houston in Game 7 on Sunday, right? You knew when he had the ball in the second half, he wasn't going to miss. Had a terrible first half, hit one three-pointer, had 3 points at the end of the first half, gets 20 points at the end, 20 points in the second half, ends the game. There was a dagger three-pointer that he shot, and you knew the second that he shot that it was going in. I had mentioned this to Brandon Cohn. I had mentioned it on this show as well, that whenever Steph Curry gets in that mode, we've all seen it. When Steph gets into that mode, he is absolutely unstoppable. But let's not sit here and pretend that LeBron James isn't the greatest scorer of all time. And you can say, oh, Tip, that's longevity. I don't care. How come that wasn't ever the excuse with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? He has been a physically dominant athlete. The best. He carried the NBA in a time that still had the ladder into Kobe Bryant, that had Steph Curry coming up, that had Dwayne Wade, that still had the ends of Shaq, that had all that. LeBron James carried the NBA. For better or worse, he was the best player in the NBA. When it's all said and done, he's going to be top 5 in rebounding, top 5 in assists, and number 1 scorer of all time. As a basketball player, we will never see another LeBron James. Just like we'll never see another Jordan, we'll never see another LeBron James. I would argue that we've seen a ton of Stephs. Buddy Hield shot 9 3-pointers and made 9 3-pointers in that Game 7. If not for Buddy Hield, the Golden State Warriors don't move on, right? But it's because shooting has become such an art. It's a beautiful way of the game. To say that Steph Curry is greater than LeBron James, again, it comes down to what your definition of greatness is. I don't think LeBron James is the greatest basketball player we've ever seen, but I also feel like he's better than Steph Curry. Like, he's been a better overall basketball player than anyone we've ever seen. He didn't have the killer instinct that Michael Jordan had. But Michael Jordan didn't have his athletic ability. Shout out to Brittany who tuned in over on Instagram as well. Please like and share. Well, I guess you can't really share on Instagram. That would be weird. But please like on Instagram. LeBron James, I also feel like, suffers from the fact that everyone puts so much on LeBron James to be great that it feels like he didn't reach his full potential and greatness, which to me is absolutely mind-blowing that we can have that conversation, that you have a 4-time champion, a guy that's been to, 10 NBA finals. Man, that's a lot of losses. And you can have a multiple-time champion, the greatest scorer of all time. Whenever he retires, is going to be number 5, top 5 in rebounds, top 5 in assists. He was a well-rounded, all-around basketball player. And we say he didn't live up to his expectations. Tommy Kananza saying LeBron is so overrated. How can you say he's overrated when, again, top 5 in scoring, rebounding, and assists whenever it's all said and done? How is that overrated? I get it. You can say the longevity. He played much longer than Michael Jordan did. He's not the scorer that Jordan was. But Jordan wasn't the physical presence that LeBron James was, right? That's why I don't like the game of comparing generation to generation. Augustine's saying Steph changed the game, and I'll agree with that. But we also talk about how we don't like watching the NBA right now because it's all about three-point shooting, right? Like, look at one of the games yesterday with the Boston Celtics and what was happening with them. You missed 45 three-pointers. You had 40 some odd uncontested three-pointers, and you missed 32 of them. Because of all those misses, you lost the game by 3 points, right? And that was the whole thing. Why not just go in and shoot it too? Tommy Kananza saying, when people place you in the conversation with Michael Jordan, you're overrated. Wow. So the second you're in that conversation with Jordan, you don't belong in that conversation, right? So would you say that Kobe Bryant would be overrated as well? I'm just trying to find where the line of demarcation for overratedness is. LeBron James being overrated, oh man, that's a tough one. But I guess whenever you come into the league and you're the chosen one and you're King James and you're this and that, yeah, it might rub people the wrong way. And I feel like that's what LeBron James suffers from, is having that moniker at such a young age. Saying now they put him in the conversation, but he doesn't belong there. Why doesn't he belong there? Is it because of the championships? Like again, I believe we've had this conversation previously in the past of like, why is it that we look at Jordan with such rose-colored glasses? Augustine Pimentel saying, yes, but Tatum is an idiot for going far and at the end. For going forward at the end, I guess. Tatum, those missed 3 point. I want to say it was 3 missed 3-pointers from Jason Tatum. That was just terrible shots. And even Jaylen Brown, 1 of 10 from 3 from Jaylen Brown. Step in, get a layup, go to the free throw line, do something. We'll talk about that coming up in just a second, as a matter of fact. LeBron James, the GOAT conversation versus Steph Curry. We're going to continue with that conversation as we head out a little bit. But you know what time it is. It's time for Just the Tip.
I just want to put the tip in.
It's time for
Just the Tip.
That would make me uncomfortable.
Promise that it ain't too much, but just enough. Just a tip. Just a tip.
Just the tip. Just the tip.
It's time for Just the Tip.
Just the Tip is brought to you by www.myhappynuts.com. Visit www.myhappynuts.com/Mike Tipton and save on all of your male grooming needs. Guys, the summer's coming up. Girls out there, the summer's coming up. You don't want your guys suffering. You don't want to feel the burn from the chafing that happens with all that stuff. All you got to do, go get that My Happy Nuts comfort cream, rub it where you need to rub it, get the anti-chafe stick, put it where you got to put it, and you will be comfortable all throughout the summertime. Guys, www.myhappynuts.com. Use promo code Mike Tipton at checkout and save on all of your male grooming needs. The conversation is continuing. Michael Jordan versus LeBron James, because he's not at the level of Michael Jordan. The closest to Jordan you can get is Kobe Bryant, is what Tommy Carranza is saying right here. Kobe Bryant, the closest you can get to Michael Jordan, as we have that Michael Jordan conversation continuing. Guys, I get it, right? Like, I've said it a million times. I think Jordan is the greatest basketball player I've ever seen just because it's Michael Jordan, right? I was born on his birthday in his rookie year. My name is Michael. Obviously, I'm going to have me some love for Michael Jordan. But it's not like we can't love Jordan and give LeBron his flowers. Like we can't love Jordan and give Jokic his flowers. The stuff we've seen from Jokic is stuff that we've never seen before. Look at the way that gallon of heavy whipping cream was playing basketball yesterday. 44 points, 23 rebounds, everything that he did to try to keep the Nuggets in the game. I got a text from Augustine at right before halftime talking about how Jokic is just out of shape. He's not doing anything. And then Jokic turns it up in the most unathletic way possible. Tommy Carranza saying, I've said it before, LeBron is not even in my top 5. That's just hating ass hater status right there, my guy. You know I got nothing but love for you, but that is nothing but hating ass hater status right there if you're not going to put LeBron in your top 5. He's got to be at least on the Mount Rushmore. And I get it. You're going to have Bird and Magic and LeBron, or not LeBron and Jordan, and probably some old school throwback. Maybe you put Kobe on there as well. But man, what LeBron has done, the staying power of LeBron, come on. I would love to see where it is that you would have LeBron ranked on your all-time list. Because I feel like you're going to start bringing out names like John Havlicek. LeBron James is a flopping crybaby. I'll agree with that. But that's just the nature that the game went. That's on the NBA for allowing that type of stuff to continue, for allowing that type of stuff to happen. Hashtag not top 5. Tommy Carranza is going to put him up there with guys like Brad Miller, Judd Bushler. I need to find a black guy. I can't just keep doing white guy names. God Sham God, he's going to put him up there with him. I was doing a thing that felt very racist of me. I was naming bad basketball players. Bison Dele. There we go. And they were all white guys. I had to break that one. Sorry, Roku. Didn't mean to make it seem like it was like I was being something I'm not. All of them are great. Augustine saying LeBron is in the top 10. Like, I can agree. I think everyone will agree with that. LeBron is a top 10 of all time. Well, yeah, you touch him and the refs give him calls every time you're going to last 20 years. Every time. Every time you get fouled. Well, I mean, that, and then you run into the brick wall of Dante DiVincenzo and strain your MCL. I've said it once, I'll say it a million times again. You run into a white Dante, it's like running into a brick wall. I agree, Tommy. The flopping is going to be something that hurts the legacy of LeBron James, especially being as big as LeBron James is. 6'9", 280, 290 pounds. Just an absolute unit. And then you swipe at him and then the flop happens. Dirk, greater than LeBron. Okay, I think I see what you're doing here. You're going to start going Mavericks. Jason Kidd, greater than LeBron James. Dirk played damn near 20 years as well, and he's not anywhere near the scoring list with LeBron. Come on, man. Come on, man. What are we doing here? What are we doing here, guy? Once again, yesterday, Nikola Jokic has himself a game, an absolute game for the Denver Nuggets. I had the points. Let's see, how many points did he have? 42 points, 22 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, 2 blocks. Timmy, better than LeBron. Now I feel like you're just trying to get me on your side. Now I feel like you're just like you bring out San Antonio Spurs guys, and you're like, oh, Tipton's going to agree with me on this one. That's a tough one for me. That's a tough one. Yeah, I see what you're doing. You're working it there. I see what you're doing. Aaron Gordon hitting the go-ahead three-pointer that wins the game for the Denver Nuggets, who were down 1 point at the time. Chet Holmgren misses a free throw, which is very uncharacteristic of Chet Holmgren to miss that free throw. Gets rebounded by Brown, Mike Brown. I think I had his name right. Christian Brown. Sorry, Christian Brown. Christian Brown outlets it to Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook with the pass over into the corner. Aaron Gordon sits there, shoots the three. It rattles its way into the game. The Nuggets win on the road. I told you. The 9.5 point difference. The Thunder getting 9.5 points over the Nuggets. I told you to bet that all day long. This is going to be a close series. 9.5 points is not going to be enough. Luka better than LeBron. Jokic better than LeBron. He said Timmy was better than LeBron, and he hates the San Antonio Spurs. They're giving me a whole list of everyone that he thinks is better than LeBron. He's going to be like, Tip, your mom, better than LeBron at basketball. My mom could ball, y'all. She could ball. The Nuggets pull away game one. They take away home court advantage from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma, again, I said it yesterday. I think Boston is going to beat New York. Boston winds up losing to New York because they just can't shoot a three at the end of the game. They can't make a three at the end of the game. I believe Denver is going to beat Oklahoma City. Just, again, that experience factor. And then who do you have that can stop Nikola Jokic? I get that you have Isaiah Hartenstein there, but even he's not a good enough defensive presence to slow down Nikola Jokic. Tip, better than LeBron. Man, I'll agree with that. LeBron can never shoot a left-handed jumper the way I can. Sonia Pearson saying, good morning, Sonia. Hope that you are having yourself a fantastic day. So I wanted to get to this a little earlier, but we started getting into the LeBron James talk. Is Steph Curry better than LeBron James? And then we got into the Denver Nuggets and all this stuff. And I wanted to get into this because yesterday was a press conference for the San Antonio Spurs, Gregg Popovich, as he is stepping down, not going to be the head coach of the team anymore, but going to be president of the team, helping with roster construction and all of that stuff. And this is kind of what he had to say yesterday at his press conference.
Is that I'm doing this now is that we have to have someone in charge who's fully capable of giving their very best, because that's what this group deserves.
So you have Gregg Popovich saying we need someone who's capable of giving their very best because that's what this group deserves. You can see there how fragile he is after those two strokes and how much pain, if you watch that press conference, how much pain was in his eyes as he was having to step down from the San Antonio Spurs, surrounded by former players, even current players of other teams that go to San Antonio. DeJounte Murray, that is a former San Antonio Spur that goes into San Antonio just to be there for Pop, to be there for Mitch Johnson as he becomes the new head coach of the San Antonio Spurs. And it got me thinking. We always talk about coaching trees, what makes a great coach and the legacy that they leave behind, right? And you can look at Bill Belichick, the winningest coach in NFL history as far as championships go, 14 wins away from breaking Don Shula's record of the most all time, right? But his coaching tree doesn't have the success that Gregg Popovich's coaching tree does, right? You have Mike Brown from Gregg Popovich, who won a championship. You have Steve Kerr, who's won 4 championships as a head coach under the learning tree of Gregg Popovich. Tall boy, I see your comment. I'll get to you in just a second here. Mike Budenholzer wins a championship, right? Gregg Popovich, even in the WNBA, Gregg Popovich, Becky Hammon has won multiple championships in the WNBA. That coaching tree that Gregg Popovich leaves behind is what ultimately I believe is going to be his legacy of what he's going to do. And then you look at Mitch Johnson and what he's coming into with the San Antonio Spurs, where you have Victor Wembanyama, you have De'Aaron Fox, you have a young team that's on the come up over here that everyone would have said, okay, this could make a playoff run at the end of the season had it not been for injury, right? Had it not been for injury. And you look at the fact that Pop is still going to be helping out building that franchise in the personnel department. The future's still bright for the San Antonio Spurs, but it just sucks that Gregg Popovich is no longer going to be the head coach, and it has to be this way, right? You would like to see him step down on his own terms, not because of a stroke or 2 strokes that he had. He still can't move really his left arm, so he's still in rehab doing a bunch of stuff like that. Simon Cananta saying Pop is on the coaching Mount Rushmore. You see, Tip, I can be unbiased. Gregg Popovich was talking about his rehab, and I thought this was kind of funny.
And Timmy and Manu, of course, who have been here for all of my workouts here at The Rock, they say it's because they love me and they want to be there in case I fall, they're going to catch me and that sort of thing. I call it payback. As they give the rehab people new ideas of things to do to me. So you're not fooling anybody, especially you, Timmy.
You can see he still has a little bit of a sense of humor about what's going on with him. And Pop, I wish he could have gone out his way, but he will always be, and not to me just on the Mount Rushmore of head coaching. Maybe this is where I become unbiased. I look at him as the greatest coach of all time. You can talk about Phil Jackson. You can talk about Red Auerbach, how much they won. That was all in small periods of time with the greatest players of all time at that point in time, right? Imagine what Popovich would have done with a LeBron James type or a Kobe Bryant type, a Michael Jordan type of player. Like he had Tim Duncan, the greatest power forward of all time, but he didn't have that other kind of guy. And you saw over the 29 years that Popovich was a head coach in the NBA, just how dominant the San Antonio Spurs were. Okay, I was asked by tallboy_6, who goes further, the 49ers or the Dallas Cowboys this year? Augustine saying Popovich is so overrated. Now I feel like he's just saying things to say things. There's no way anybody believes that, but I would love to hear why you think Popovich is so overrated. I can't wait to read that comment on why Popovich is so overrated, because even I know that you don't believe that comment whatsoever. Tall boy, who goes further, the Niners or the Cowboys this year? Oh, man. This is a tough one for me to say. I think the Cowboys will go a little bit further just because I believe that they have more of a chance to do it, right? I can see a scenario, though, where the 49ers can win their division because I believe the NFC West is just absolutely terrible. But the Dallas Cowboys, to me, I think are a fringe playoff team at worst and a potential division champion at best, where the San Francisco 49ers, I believe, are a top 5 draft pick team at worst and a fringe playoff team at best, right? So I believe it comes down to that. Obviously, we have no idea what's going to happen until we get into the season. But I can see a scenario where if the sun shines on the dog's ass, San Francisco could be the best team in their division. But I feel like they would be knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. Same thing with the Dallas Cowboys. I feel like I can see a scenario where the Dallas Cowboys are the best team in their division. They might win in the first round, get knocked out in the divisional round because that's what the Dallas Cowboys do. But the bottom, the floor for these teams, I feel like the floor is much lower for the 49ers than what it could be for the Dallas Cowboys. Like look how bad the Dallas Cowboys were last year with all the injuries, all the issues and stuff like that. They were able to keep a good part of the team. They were able to get some pieces of the team to make them better, some more depth pieces, whereas the 49ers had a mass exodus of talent, and that's going to come back and hurt them in the long run, at least I think. Tommy Canazza saying, I hated Pop back in the day, but I can't hate him anymore. He's grown on me. He's really one of the greatest of all time. Tip of the hat to Pop. And I think that that's what it goes down to as well, right? Like, I was the same way with Kobe Bryant. I was the same way with LeBron James, Tom Brady. Eventually, you have to realize greatness is greatness. And that's kind of where I was like, you know what? Let's give LeBron his flowers, because while he's playing, let's just appreciate that we get to see this in real time, right? With Michael Jordan, we knew we were watching greatness. With Larry Bird, we knew we were watching greatness. The same thing with Magic Johnson. We knew we were watching greatness. We know we're watching greatness with LeBron as well, but for whatever reason, we just refuse to acknowledge it. I'm going to be like Roman Reigns. Acknowledge him. Tommy Canazza saying the Cowboys are going to go further than the 49ers this year. The Cowboys are a Super Bowl team. What are you talking about, Tip? My unbiased sunglasses are off, baby. Super Bowl contending Dallas Cowboys, according to Tommy Canazza. I like it. Hey, man. I'm glad that we have switched roles once again, where I am going more towards the pessimistic side. You're going more towards the optimistic side. This roller coaster that we've been on is kind of more now like a DNA strand with like the helixes and everything of that nature. I like it. We're just gonna ebb and flow, my guy. This roller coaster is gonna be a weird ride for us as we get closer. LeBron, we knew we were watching great acting. Tommy Canazza will never, and I mean ever, give LeBron James his flowers. He's saying it flat out. I will never give that man any love. No love whatsoever for LeBron James. unless it's the Emmys, right? Then maybe we get some Emmys right here. I'm late, but I made it. What's good, Money Mike? What's good, Cricket Commish? Hope you're having yourself a fantastic day here on this Tuesday. We've been talking about the Dallas Cowboys draft. Obviously, is Steph Curry greater than LeBron James? I believe it goes down to your definition of greatness, but you can't take away LeBron James's flowers. Tommy Canazza hating LeBron James. Hate. When he touches himself, it's black on black crime. If you get where that's from, then we can be friends. If you don't get where that's from, you got to step your game up and be more cultured. Also, sorry, Roku. I know I shouldn't have said that. My apologies. Mea culpa, mea mil culpa. Never, ever, ever, ever. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it. That's Tommy Canazza talking about LeBron's greatness, or acknowledging that LeBron can be halfway decent. Nope, it ain't ever gonna happen. Never, ever, ever gonna happen. Tommy Canazza making a run for his Hater of the Year award. Oh man. I got to get back on track, guys. My goodness. I got lost all over there, lost in the sauce. Going back to, there we go. The Crooked Commish got it. Buck Nasty, it's a shame about you said about my coat. LOL, you know the rest, Mike. Oh, of course I do. Augustine Pimentel saying, we can't take anything away from LeBron, but Steph changed the game. For better or worse, the NBA will never be the same. I agree with that. I 100% agree with that, right? And it's all about your cultural impact on the game. And that's where I'll say, okay, if we're talking about the league itself, and then I'll counter it after this, like, because debate, you got to play both sides, right? You got to play both sides. Steph Curry changed the game of basketball. He opened it up to where, okay, little guys can shoot. Anybody can shoot from anywhere. That's the evolution that we've seen of the NBA. It's become a more wide open, a higher scoring game than ever before. But I will say LeBron also changed the NBA because that was a part of the player empowerment movement that happened with the NBA as well. If not for LeBron, we wouldn't have had the super team build that we've had, the dynastic type builds that we've had. And you can say whether for good or for bad, that's what happened. That's the way that the game was changed. More player empowerment, players getting paid more money because teams now had to create the supermax contract to try to keep players like LeBron James in their original place where they started playing basketball. That is a thing. That is what happened because of LeBron James player movement that was happening over here. We got these big stars that are moving so much further. Let's come up with a supermax and make the supermax so much more if you stay with your original team. That is something that LeBron James helped usher into the NBA. Now, again, you can say for better or for worse. I think it's for worse. But man. Tommy Cananza saying, Tommy Cananza is the most honest, unbiased sports fan ever. Forever never seems that long until you're gone. Man, I'm going to have that song in my head for the rest of the day. Lil Outcast. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I am for real. I do this thing from time to time, guys, where like I'll text people just song lyrics. Like just one at a time. Just to see if they actually catch on to what's happening. So I feel like I need to start doing that in the show. I've done it with Brandon the Iceman Cone on Fire and Ice. I'll say a song lyric and I'll just go through about 4 verses of a song before Brandon finally starts getting it. Tommy Cananza saying LeBron James changed the NBA. He normalized crying and flopping. Tommy Cananza making a strong run for his Hater of the Year candidacy. I get it, though, Tommy. I get it. The game did seem to suck a little more during LeBron James's time at the helm. Like it really did feel like it took a massive step back in popularity and people caring about it, and we're still trying to recover from that, right? Like, I know ESPN would have loved to have a Golden State Warriors versus LA Lakers series right now instead of Golden State versus Minnesota. But I feel like what's better for the league itself is having Golden State Minnesota, because now you get the young team, the up-and-coming team, the hungry team, and not the, for lack of a better term, the controversy and all that stuff that surrounds the LA Lakers with LeBron James. Tommy Cananza saying LeBron is soft AF. LeBron apparently has a ton of stock in Charmin. Looking at the series that continue today or commence today, or begin today rather. The Indiana Pacers taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers 0-1 in the series right now because of that loss that they had to the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers came out here and ran the brakes off them boys in Cleveland. The Pacers, much better than I gave them credit for at the beginning of the playoffs. I still think Cleveland, the cream, is going to rise to the top. I still think Cleveland is going to be able to win this series. So I'm picking the Cavaliers tonight. The Golden State Warriors on the road against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota at home is the favorite, a 6.5 point favorite over the Golden State Warriors. This is the game that I think the Golden State Warriors take. They're always good for taking at least one game on the road. That first game of the series is always that one game that you want to watch. So I'm going to say Golden State gets the upset here. I'm betting Golden State to cover that 6.5 point spread. I am betting on the Cleveland Cavaliers, but I'm betting on the Pacers to cover the 8.5 point spread. I don't think it's going to be too much of a spread here between Cleveland and Indiana. Tommy Cananza saying LeBron is only considered the GOAT by people who are not old enough to watch Michael Jordan. Wow. Going after the youngins. Sorry about that, young blood. Okay. So it's been a fun conversation, y'all. I appreciate it. We will be back tomorrow on Wednesday to talk more about the NBA playoffs and all the other stuff that we have going on. Maybe we continue the conversation of LeBron James v. Michael Jordan. Imagine if LeBron James had to play against the bad boy Pistons, he'd fake his death right on the court. That's what Tommy Cananza is saying here. Tommy, I believe that you have now the strongest nomination possible for Hater of the Year. Hate, 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 hate. Hate, 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 hate. All right, everybody. Once again, thank you so much for tuning into today's show. We will see you all tomorrow morning. You all know there are hundreds of betting sites out there, but don't be fooled. Some sites are legal in some states only. Some sites pay in Bitcoin, and some sites have even been hacked. However, BetUS has been in business for over 30 years. They have future bets that are paying out in the thousands, and there's still time for you to bet on the Super Bowl, the National Championship, and even the NBA Championship. Just use the QR code right here, and it will take you to the BetUS site. BetUS. Check it out and bet responsibly. Are you a fellow car guy? I have a 2008 Ford Mustang GT convertible, and nothing makes me happier in that car than when it's nice and clean. And you know who helps me get there? RevAutoCarCare.com. They help me get that pony looking as nice and shiny and ready for any of the car meetups that are all around the great city of El Paso. Spoil your car and go to RevAutoCarCare.com/Tipton and view all the inventory they have and find out what works for you to help make your ride shine. RevAutoCarCare.com/Tipton. Use promo code Tipton33 at checkout to save 15%.